Hello everyone, my name is Damian Borbosha, and in this presentation I'm going to present a really short overview of health data standards and how this standard can help healthcare organizations to achieve interoperability. So when we review which are the main IT or health IT challenges that healthcare organizations are facing, we always find that the lack of communication or the lack of interoperability among these healthcare organizations is on the top 5 of challenges that these systems are facing. And even now that we have really good adoption rates of these clinical systems, as we can see in the slide, in the last 10 years we moved from less than 10% of electronic medical records adoption rates, and now we are over 90. It depends on how we define an electronic medical record, but we are over 95% of adoption rates. But even with these really high and good numbers, the lack of communication within this electronic medical record is really high. And this problem is related to the fact that these clinical systems are using their own proprietary databases and schemas. These models that are proprietary have their own terminologies, and they represent the clinical information in their system differently, and this causes that sharing this data is really difficult, and it's even more difficult to share more advanced systems like executable software within institutions, and this makes that every useful application or configuration in each system, we need to create it again and again in every system, in every clinical system, in every electronic medical record, even if they are the same time or if they are provided by the same vendors. This makes that the software in healthcare are really high, and this of course also impact the cost of healthcare in general. So one way to solve this problem is with the use of or the adoption of interoperability. So how can we define interoperability? So here we are using the ONC definition, and the ONC defines interoperability as the ability of a system to exchange electronic health information with and use electronic health information from other systems without a special effort on part of the user. And as we can see in the definition, we have two highlighted words or terms. One is exchange and the other one is use. And when we are talking about exchange, we are talking about the syntactic side of the interoperability, and this is mostly covered by the exchange standard that we will see now. And the other part of the definition, we can see that the use is highlighted, that is the same, that understanding, and this is what we call semantic interoperability, and this is mostly the solution for this use or understanding of the information that is exchanged is provided by the use of terminologies, clinical terminologies or terminology standards. And as we have these different types of interoperability, we can also classify the layers of interoperability in 4 different levels. We have the technology layer, the data layer, the human, and the institutional layer. And if you can see, the first one, the more basic, is the technology, and there we have the technical or basic interoperability. Here the authors of this book include the exchange of data between one system and the other. Here is where we have the APIs, and they also include the different version HL7, that is one of the topics that we will cover in this course, with FHIR in this layer. But there is other version of HL7, like version 2 and 3 with CDAs that are also described or included in this layer of interoperability. And then we have other that are more advanced or more difficult to achieve, like the data layer, where we have the semantic interoperability and the exchange of meaning. Here we are talking about the use of the understanding and the meaning of the information that is exchanged. And here we have the clinical terminologies like SNOMED CT. And then we have the other layers that are the human, where we have the process and the business process interoperability, the clinical interoperability, and then at the institutional or the organizational level, we have the organization interoperability with the role of the government, the regulations, the culture of the institution, and other types of interoperability that are also very important in order to really achieve the communication with these within systems. So the main focus of these courses is the use of standards to improve or to really achieve this communication between systems. And so this is the way how we can achieve interoperability. So standards are this common language that set and the set of expectations that enable interoperability between systems. The standards have different goals. It's not only interoperability, but it also allows comparability between systems, and also to provide data quality, because we can measure and compare different levels like accuracy and precision of this data. The standard that we are going to work on this course is an HL7 standard. FHIR is one of the latest HL7 standards, and what this standard does is to help to solve this combinatorial explosion that is described here in this slide. So the number of links needed to connect n different system increases according to the formula that we can see in the slide. So linking two nodes, if we want to link only two nodes, we would only need one interface, which is kind of easy, and it's something that people can just decide what type of interface we are going to use. If we see the graphic that is in the left side of the slide, we can see that linking 6 nodes requires 15 interfaces. And if we want to link like 100 nodes, we would need like 4,950 interface to develop in order to link these 100 nodes. And this is known as the combinatorial explosion. And in the other graphic, we can see that in the center of the star, we have HL7 in this case, that is the example. And what it does, HL7, in this case, it can be FHIR as a standard, is that we only need one single specification that is going to be used to link these different 6 domains, or these nodes that can be can be, in our example, can be clinical systems, electronic medical record, or any other type of clinical system with clinical information. So this is basically what we are going to work during this course, is just seeing how we can implement a standard, in this case using FHIR, to connect different clinical systems. So this was a short overview of what health data standards are and what interoperability means. But there is another presentation that it covers FHIR, and Viet is going to talk about that. And if you want to read more about FHIR, you can go to the HL7 website. There's a specific web page for FHIR, or you can even review just HL7 in general with all the information about healthcare standards. So thank you, and if you have any question here, you have my email. Please feel free to reach me just by email if you have any question before the session. And hope to see you next Wednesday. Thank you.